And I want to get my caddy when this show is over and say, you know what? Did he have a point? Talking about you being he. So we all agree after the comeback led by Patrick Mahomes yesterday, he is the GOAT right now. He may catch Brady, but we don't care about that. We know he's stellar. And for me to tell you, I was almost lightweight impressed with Purdy. I didn't think he blew it for his first time on this stage. I thought a lot around him didn't step up, including the play calling. Okay, I'll leave that there. Steiny, am I wrong? Or are you going to tell me you think Brock has enough to have that Mahomes moment? Or where are you at on Brock Purdy? Because, again, I'm asking you this question not blaming Brock, but if you're the Niners and you got stuck on 10 and you couldn't add and we don't know who to blame, I guess at the end of the day, if you got a quarterback of that caliber, and I'm not even talking about Mahomes, just of that caliber, that dude is a difference maker. So I guess I'm all in all with all that. Your quarterback, whoever he is Brock Purdy that dude? Do you feel more confident in him being that guy after yesterday's game, or less, or the same? Because I'm real quick before you answer, if it's the same, then I think that could be revisited by the organization.
You said on Friday you don't see any scenario in which you'd watch Brock Purdy play and say, well, I don't think he's going to be the quarterback moving forward. Why would you think that after that performance?
No, and again, I love you for bringing that up. I'm not saying that. Better? No, I think some people are accusing me and my buddies on the text that I'm grading with the curve.
On who?
On Brock Purdy.
Okay.
I thought he was okay yesterday, and they're telling me I'm sounding on the radio like okay is good enough. Almost like the Niners need more from that position.
He's in his second year.
He didn't mess it up.
Okay. So do you think he's getting better? Is he improving?
Now that's
Is he improving or not? Well, if you don't think he's improving, then he's not the quarterback. I happen to think he's quarterback 25 games. He's in his second year. I think he's probably getting better. We run it back with him next year.
Right.
I just can't. Well, is he now or is he not? He's the same he was 3 days ago. He's going to enter his third year. Do you feel like you must make a decision on Brock Purdy right now?
Oh, no.
Okay, well, then what's the argument? Or what's the debate?
Can this guy be the difference maker?
No.
When the other guys around him have a pedestrian.
So do you want him to be Mahomes?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no, he can't be Mahomes.
That's what I was
Can he be? Okay, well, he can't. Nobody else can either. Nobody else can be Mahomes. Nobody can be Mahomes. The question is, if Brock Purdy makes two different plays yesterday, maybe he sees
right.
Well, then he's a Super Bowl winning quarterback.
And he would be the one that would have beat Patrick.
Okay.
Like that was all wasted too.
Wasted? That's not the way.
Yeah,
and that is kind of at the crux of it. Wasted?
You let a great team hang around after you had them floundering. And you paid the price.
First of all, you said something that I vehemently disagree with. Like when you were like, Patrick Mahomes led him to a comeback win. Chiefs were winning 13-10 in the fourth quarter. The Chiefs were winning in the fourth quarter. So how'd the 49ers kind of blow another lead?
Well, when they scored
first quarter.
No, when they were up in the fourth quarter, Steiny, the Niners were up. The Niners had a lead in the fourth on those two opportunities. I know that.
Well, so let's not manufacture. Is Purdy the guy, or is he? Purdy's probably going to start, I would think, next year, game one.
Yeah, and I told you on Friday, you're right. That was not going to change. I'm just telling you, is this guy a star? Because if you're telling me moving forward, if my wide receivers or my weaponry doesn't show, I always want the default to be my quarterback can be enough, even if they're not having their A game. And Mahomes has shown us that.
It's funny. All year long, he's good enough. And then the last game of the year, he's the same player he was all year. But now we're like, I don't know now. Why?
No,
he's been like, I can make a case Purdy's been the most consistent player on the team.
No doubt about
Start
it.
to finish.
This is not reacting to yesterday's game. It's about watching the other guy on the other side.
Sure, but I don't understand what the debate is. We just watched Patrick Mahomes, maybe the greatest quarterback in the history of the NFL. Can Purdy beat? No. Why would you think he could? It's like asking, well, can Trae Young be Steph Curry? No.
Well, it's nuanced. Are there 2 or 3 levels?
Well,
even
I'm
if you don't get to Mahomes,
he's played
Purdy. Okay.
Well, I'm trying to
You
ask
need to see more.
No.
We're going to see more from Purdy.
No. What I'm saying,
more
he's
games.
Quarterback 2 years. Do I think he's getting better? Yeah, I think he's probably getting better. How much better? I don't, there's no decision. There's no decision with Purdy. He's going to be the starting quarterback next year.
I get you.
So, can he do it? I don't know. You ready to say he can't? Then get rid of him.
No, I'm not.
This is what I mean.
I'm saying they need.
He's under contract for 1 more year for no money. He had a really solid year. The team got further than they got
Super Bowl.
I don't
I'll tell you what I'm feeling because I'm not doing a good job of expressing it. At the end of the day, and they showed Jimmy Garoppolo. I watched all that crap yesterday, the pregame show, Steiny, and he didn't badmouth the Niners. He talked about had he not got hurt, I might still be here, and it was kind of funny just hearing him talk. But when the game was over, the finality of it all, the Brock Purdy era is still the Jimmy Garoppolo era with more weapons from the standpoint of they still didn't get it done. And that's no shade at Brock. It's just Jimmy's out of here. We got a new quarterback that the Niner fans were all excited about that I said played well, in my estimation, yesterday, Steiny, but they still didn't get over the hump collectively.
Okay.
So that's, we're still at the...
Now finish with the point.
You need to do it.
Okay.
Well, so I don't know if this kid is the quarterback.
They're going to try next year now.
Right. And I was asking,
this is what I mean.
Has that taken a hit in the Steiny computer of maybe he ain't good enough to beat Mahomes?
He's 23.
Forward. I don't care about his age.
Well, see,
I just know he's a quarterback.
I do.
Yeah, it's about getting the ball in the end zone.
Well,
this ain't about getting old enough to get your driver's license.
You don't get to do both.
Football.
You don't get to do both. You don't get to say, well, Purdy's only in his second year, so I'm going to hold it against him that he's not in his prime. Well, that's not his fault.
Well, you're driving a car it's bigger than just him, Steiny. This is a grown man business. You're driving a car, whether you agree with it or not, to where your coach is trying to get a championship.
I guess what I'm saying is what are you saying about Purdy right now?
I want to know what yesterday meant to you. Did he lose points?
It meant nothing.
It's your life. I can't tell you that.
I just said he's been he's been consistent all season long. Brock Purdy, the way he played yesterday, you know what? It feels like
bad.
That was about the way he's played all season. So now I say, okay, he's in his second year. He only started his career halfway through last year. Mm-hmm. Do I think he can get better? Yeah, I think it's reasonable to think Brock Purdy can get better. Okay, so then there's no discussion.
Can they win it all?
Yes.
All right.
He almost won it. Could he make one more play?
Or somebody else make a play?
Thank you. Okay, but this is what pisses me off. Yeah. It sounds to me like you watched that game, or some people watched that game and saw something in somebody, whether it was Shanahan or Purdy, where you say they'll never win it.
No.
Really?
No.
I didn't see that.
And I told you, and I've been consistent this whole show, ain't nothing to be afraid of. I told you he was the last of my problems, Brock Purdy. I thought he was okay on a big-ass stage and didn't get, blinded by the lights. And like we talked about it, collectively he was let down by his playmakers and his O-line. So like Mahomes is going nowhere. So when Niner fans talk about are we going to get one, you could say, well, you're going to get back, but do you need more from the quarterback position if you get in a situation
does
where
Buffalo need more?
Steiny's I'm carrying Steiny and Evan today. They're not having their best game. When you have a Mahomes, he can be that difference maker.
You want answers that are not there. Mm. I mean, does Josh Allen have to pick up his play to beat Mahomes? How about Lamar Jackson? Mm-hmm. Lamar Jackson certainly has to pick up his play to beat Mahomes.
I would say, yeah.
Okay. Do you think he can?
If I don't. With Lamar Jackson, I don't. But Joe Burrow, who's already done it.
I know this is going to sound crazy, but if I told you right now, so you think Lamar Jackson's ever going to be able to get you over the hump against Mahomes? And your answer is, I don't think so, Steiny.
Yeah.
Why would you keep him? Why wouldn't you just get rid of him then? If you really, truly, and that's kind of what I mean about Shanahan.
And I've been that way with Lamar
if
for
you
4
want to be
years.
out there, if you want to be a 49er fan, and I'm not really even sure if it's 49er fans who are doing it. It's another group of, I don't know about haters, but people that are rooting for. If you really are out there saying, hey, Steiny, Kyle Shanahan ain't never winning it, well, then fire him.
Right. I don't believe that.
Well, thank you. But that's what I mean. You say you don't believe it, but we're going to bring it up at every turn for the rest of his life until he does it. Even if he were to do it next year, which means he'd win a Super Bowl within 8 years of him being as a head coach, which would actually be kind of on the fairly quick side. But we're going to start that Kyle Shanahan. Like, we just watched Andy Reid. We watched his whole career and say, hey, and people said he'll never win the big one. And then he wins the big. Are we really going to do it in year 7 with Kyle Shanahan? I guess we are. And I'm just here to tell you, I hate that. Yeah. That's all. But doesn't mean you can't do it. I think it's a joke, though. That's all.
But that's what we do in sports talk.
Well,
but
I don't have to do it.
Is wrong.
I don't have to do it.
You were Helen Keller on that.
What are you talking about?
I feel like you got a what's the thing you blow when the principal had on the playground? He's talking to all the kids. What is it, Evan? Anyway, the loudspeaker thing. Like, you keep selling Philly fans like the Andy Reid's Super Bowls in Kansas City makes his stint in Philly successful.
No, you've never understood where I'm coming from on this. It's not about the fans. I'm saying if you're Jed York or if you're a 49er fan and you really think Shanahan can't get it done, then fire him. And I dare you to ask him not to win a title for the next team he coaches. Like, if you're a disgruntled fan about Kyle Shanahan, then go ahead. Then we fire him. But I'll tell you right now, I'll take him as the head coach of his next team.
And I guess, where was this energy, Steiny, when Baldy said, because it's not fire him. I'm not that dumb. Where was this energy when we're sitting across from Baldy and he looks at us and says, all of us, I do wonder at some point Kyle's got to get over the hump in big games.
Right, and so does LaFleur. He's been there 5 years.
But not as many times in big games like Kyle.
This is what I'm talking about. This is where, on some level, we penalize Kyle Shanahan for advancing further than other coaches in the postseason. And I don't do that. To me, Kyle Shanahan has been to the postseason 5 of 7 years. He's been to the Super Bowl twice. He's been to the NFC and NFC Championship game 4 games. Okay, well, Mike Vrabel has been to the playoffs 5 of 6 years. Has he gone as far as Kyle? Not quite. But why is Kyle's monkey greater than Vrabel's when the reality of the situation is they both go to the playoffs all the time? So does Matt LaFleur. So you can say Kyle's got a big monkey on his back and gorilla, and I'm here to tell you, so does Vrabel. And you know who else has one right now? Zach Taylor. You know why? Because he's got a better winning percentage now in the postseason than Kyle Shanahan. Zach Taylor's 5-2 in the postseason. That's a better winning percentage than Kyle Shanahan. When's he going to win the big one?
How many Super Bowls has he been in?
1.
Okay.
Yeah, 1. How many's Kyle been in?
2, and he's lost.
And you want to make a monster generalization about 2 games. No. I'm not doing that.
You're the guy that thinks second place is first place.
No, I don't.
You don't even know
I appreciate second place.
I'm looking at you, telling you, and it don't matter because it's your life. I look at you as you're the guy that thinks second place is first place.
Keep saying it,
and you're wrong. And those guys can't hold a candle to Kyle.
Do you ever think about what you said about Andy Reid?
NFC.
That's
he
all
got
I'm
fired
saying.
in Philly, and all I'm telling you is be careful what you wish for with the second place is okay because Andy's fat ass got ran out of Philly. He got ran out of Philly, and you're up here telling us,
and if you run Kyle Shanahan out of Philly,
because he keeps getting to the game.
That's right.
But look around.
Well, first of all,
Kyle was favored to win the Super Bowl in preseason. The Niners were supposed to do this. They didn't get it done.
No, they weren't supposed to
they
do
had
this.
one of the best offenses. Vrabel, all those guys you mentioned didn't have at their disposal what the Niners had. Are you sitting there telling me the Niners weren't favored to win the Super Bowl?
When the season started,
Norman Johnson had a ticket.
That's great. He made a good bet.
No, they were favored to win the Super Bowl. Kyle's team.
That's right. When we started the season, everybody agreed The Philadelphia Eagles, the Dallas Cowboys, and the San Francisco 49ers are the class of the NFC. Over the course of the season, the 49ers proved themselves to be the class of the NFC. Like, it doesn't mean the Eagles and Cowboys weren't there, and then the Lions didn't end up there. The 49ers are the best team in the NFC.
Yeah, not NFC.
Nobody's saying they weren't.
In football.
Well, that's your...
No, that's Vegas.
That's not football. So that... Just because Vegas, okay, then we're just they were better than the Baltimore Ravens. The 49ers were just better than the Baltimore Ravens because Vegas said so.
I don't know why saying when is Kyle going to win the big one, you're kryptonite.